Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, The Universe Listens. As a very young person, I always felt that I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, having to make grown-up decisions in order to survive a life marked with physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. While my face was smiling on the outside, on the inside, I always secretly cried and felt miserable. However, over the years, I learned some gems that helped to turn my life around. I now get to live the life of my dreams, filled with love, travel, and wonderment. And I am absolutely passionate about sharing what I have learned with you. If you want to live your best life, tune in each week as I, along with some amazing guests, share these life-changing gems with you. Inspired to be more, do more, have more. Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Speak, The Universe Listens. Today's topic is an awakening, and we have with us Juanita Nicholson as our guest today. And Juanita is actually an entrepreneur. She's a transformational leader, and she's a health coach, and she's actually my health coach. So welcome to the show today, Juanita. Yes, and Juanita's actually going to share a little bit today about her personal journey, because your journey has been so amazing, in the sense of like from where I've set in my life, and I've only known you for maybe like 3-4 years. But I've just seen you go through so many different phases in life. And so,
I have.
yes, and just to watch you grow and change over these few years, it's just been amazing. So if you can start sharing with us, and I don't know at what point you want to start your sharing, but I know not too long ago, maybe like not even a year ago, I felt like you were at a low point in your life.
Budgets. Yes, well, let me start with the positive.
Okay.
First, I'm very grateful, and thank you for inviting me, Arvette. But right now, I just feel amazing. So I was gonna sit on my hands, but I have so much more energy, and I'm working on personal self-development, and just things are just going great. But I didn't start at this point, and that's what I'd like to take you back to a few years ago. I always felt it was just very, very scary when you've done as many things as I've done, and you just don't know how to get healthy. So I've always struggled with my weight loss. I am a triathlete, and I've done a number of races, and one thing that I used to do, just fluctuate in weight, and I felt like if I exercise, and that's another way we also met, through exercise, but if I exercise, I can get to the point where I needed to be. So I'd exercise, lose the weight, race, and then go back to the same unhealthy habits that I've felt like I've struggled with all my life. And so just in this last year, I did have some people in my immediate circle, my mom, stepmom, she passed away, and so it was very hard. And I had another friend also pass away earlier this year, and so I was at a really low point. It's kind of like what people say when you hit rock bottom and you just don't know where to go. Fast forward to that, 7 months prior to, I actually met my health coach. I do independent contract work, and I actually met her at her house. And we just got into this deep discussion because both of us had a background in education. So when you get two educators together, what are you talking about? So that was great. And I actually friended her on Facebook, and I followed her journey. So, you know, someone like myself, where I've had so many successes in life, and 27 years in education, I retired just looking for something different. And I knew I had to do something. And I reached out to her, and it's like, and my journey started. One thing I guess realized was that part of the program was dealing with healthier habits. And like I said, I've been on every diet imaginable. I won't list them all for you, but I've been able to lose weight, gain it, lose it, gain it. But one thing that I never learned was how to keep it off. And guess where it starts? It starts here. And once I made that breakthrough and mindset, because it's like, where was this all the years, I've done this, but that's when things started to turn around. I started, every opportunity I got, Oprah, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, just a number of, and that's what I did all day long, is just, trying to tap into my subconscious. I would listen to these tapes, read different books, and then once I started my health journey, that was actually one of the components of the program, is learning healthier habits, and mindset is right in there with everything else that comes along with it, your emotions, your stress, your activity. So when you collectively connect all of the dots, it kind of, it helps you to become a more of a whole person. So I'm still on that journey, and I am down more than 43 pounds, and you just would not believe the energy. I actually, first 2 months, I actually didn't exercise at all because I had to get back to that point. And I started back exercising July 4th. On 4th of July, I remember it very vividly. We work out with the same exercise group, and it was, it's just been amazing since. And I started to pay it forward and actually become a health coach myself. So I always say, if I can do it, I'm from the country, a little country girl from North Carolina, then you can do it. And I do thank our vet. She came on the journey with me as well and allowed me to collaborate and partner with her on her journey. But it's been amazing. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah. So I just want to say that you are an amazing health coach, and I was happy to be one of your early clients. And I still am a client, and I was actually struggling with my own weight loss issues. And typically, I don't typically have weight loss issues. I had them in the past, but then, since 2011, I have not. And then, as you know, probably for the past year, I had been approximately 10-15 pounds overweight. And I had lost some for a little while because I was doing some mental techniques, but then I stopped doing those techniques and then it all came back. And so I decided to go on your journey, and the weight just fell off. But a lot because of your consistency with me and your belief in me. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and one thing that I have to say about that is a lot of times you feel like you can do things on your own, and you want to do things on your own, and you feel like you shouldn't have to have help. But sometimes we need help.
Right.
And you're there for me, so thank you for that.
Thank you. I also want to add that a lot of times the program that I work with, it's sometimes not just about the physical, what you see on a person's outside. And I have clients now that are also working on getting healthy in the inside. So it's like an inside out transformation. And I can tell you, when I started, I did not love myself. I lacked self-confidence. And the journey forward has been just amazing. But I had to learn that, and it all goes back to mindset. So I say now, it's like, I feel like I can do anything, and I'm always willing to work on personal self-development, because I think that's key, and you just have to keep that right, in the front of your mind, something that you need to just continue working towards. So I always say I'm a work in progress.
So I know you mentioned that you did a lot of listening to tapes. Is there anything else you could offer in terms of what you did for self-development?
I listen to actually a lot of podcasts. Yours is one that's, you know how you have your library on YouTube, it's always set, so it's just like I open it up and I listen to things over and over again. One thing that that just prompted, we also learned in your class was that I also do a guided meditation every single morning because I'm just grateful for life itself. And I also do a gratitude journal in the evenings. And once you start concentrating on the positive things, I mean, they just actualize, and so many things, positive things just come into your life. I'm trying to think of the saying, if you could hold it, I'll say it wrong if I say it, so it's like,
You can hold it in your mind.
yes, you can hold it in your hand, absolutely. So, I just can't wait to see, what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And your enthusiasm is contagious, and yeah, like I'm just so excited, like just to watch you. You inspire me.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you helped me along my journey as well, so I definitely want to get back. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as getting through like the dark periods, like I know, like you said, a lot of it was listening to tapes and starting to do gratitude and those types of things. But when you're there, what do you think? Is there anything that you think could have helped you move out of it faster, or do you think it's just something that you have to go through?
That's a good question. And I wish I could remember that exact moment I had that breakthrough. Because I don't know. And it may have started back in, after everything happened. And I mean, I just felt like my life was falling apart. And I think I even had the conversation with you about the decluttering and getting rid of just everything that was no longer tied to, you can't live in the past. That's another thing I learned. So it's like getting rid of all that dead weight. And once that happened, it's like, the sky opened. And I knew at that point I could move forward. And I just needed to know how. And actually, also with another group, I do some Forex trading. And that was another thing that one of the speakers, actually, everyone who showed up, he wanted to give some back. And he said, I always give something free. He said, I'm going to give you 30 minutes. And I had a one-on-one. It was over the phone, but it's like something clicked. And I've done that with a couple of different people that kind of just either feel your energy and know your heart. Because if something's on your heart, it just comes out. And I tend to wear, my feelings definitely on my sleeve. But that also helped, and just things started happening, So it kind of intrigued me to know more. It's like, okay, if this is happening, then what else is possible? And then when I saw that as part of the program I'm doing now, it's healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy finances. So I saw that also as an opportunity where I can actually, live the dreams that I have, be able to do all that, do more things. Yeah.
Okay, so I know like when we were working together, like in the beginning when we were doing the health assessment, one of the things you wanted to know was my why. Like, why am I ready to start this journey now? And why? And you were like, letting me know that that's important, that I had that. So talk to us a little bit about why is that important?
Right. So when I usually conduct a health assessment and I'm working with someone, I want them to really think about their main motivation of why at this time did you reach out to me to discuss your health needs and your goals. Most will say weight loss is usually your immediate. And then others, they delve a little deeper. They may have young kids and they want to kind of grow old, and they want to go out and play with their kids as well. So it's once you figure out the why, then you know this is something that I have to do. I have a client that talks about, past history, okay, both my parents. And I can even speak to my own father. He passed at a very young age, and the closer I get to that age, heart disease, you think about those things because we're not getting any younger. And it's like you have to invest in yourself as you move forward through life. But it's like an awakening. Once you figure out that why, then it all makes sense. I need to do this for myself. And maybe something hasn't worked in the past, but you still keep trying. And I'm sure you've heard of, you could fail, what do? You fail again, what do? You keep getting back up. And like I said, I've always felt I've had that innate with all the training I've done, all the Ironmans I've done, races I've done. I should have brought you a picture of that now. But so I just couldn't understand why I struggled with my weight. And through listening and personal self-development, a lot of it is your mindset and the emotional management. I can't think of the guy's name. He is well known where he actually, to help his clients, he went and put on 75 pounds and then he was going to take it off. And he talked about that on a podcast, and he was interviewed, and that's what he said. That's when he realized, because he really wanted to connect with his clients, that, and if you've never had to lose weight before, you may not have it only, or you only see the physical side, and it's like, okay, count your macros, your calories, you should be okay. Yes, but if you've never had a weight issue, then you just haven't gone through that. And it's great if you're that kind of person that you can kind of eat what you want to eat, but making that connection, it just makes it more spiritual. Your journey is for yourself, and it just kind of motivates you. It just gives me this inner peace and of mind as well, that this is something I need to do for myself.
So in the past, whenever you lost the weight and then you gained it back and you would lose it, but you never really had a strong enough reason why you were losing it? Or...
Well, I'd lose it for the race, and then like I said, once the race was over, I felt I could eat what I usually eat, And of course, all the weight, it would just come back. And of course, everyone knows it's not just some will come back, but some extra will come back as well. So it was like lose, gain. And I guess, my why wasn't big enough. It was a comfort. And whether I'm bored or I wasn't happy at work or I just was missing something else. So emotionally. And so I didn't have that, and it wasn't big enough for me to see, because I would still continue to do the same thing over and over.
Right.
Just being very unhealthy. So just learning healthier habits, whether it's drinking my water, eating what is on plan. We use fuelings, and they're very nutritional, they're interchangeable, they contain your vitamins, your minerals, and it's great, It just gives me the structure I needed to get to where I want to be. I have a birthday coming up in February, as you know, and I like to be pretty much at my goal. Of course, it's still a work in progress. I'm always gonna, continue to work on my personal self-development journey.
And so I like what you said about the gentleman who took off the 75 pounds, because if you're already fit, you don't really understand all the nuances that goes into that you have to overcome. It's more than just eating well. Like you said, it's a mindset. And how do you overcome? Like if you're used to, eating that piece of chocolate or whatever, how do you overcome that? And so you're saying that if your why is big enough, that could be one of the things that helps. And then having some type of structure in place.
Yes.
And I think Go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to add, and the community.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
And so sorry, that is another big component, is that we have a huge community, and it's wonderful to actually be in a group with like-minded individuals who are all on the same health journey. No one's judging you. Everybody's supporting each other. It's a place where we get tips, recipes. You get to shout out a loss, and the most wonderful thing is our non-scale victories. We call it NSB, and that's great too, because it doesn't always have to be the number on the scale. You can feel better in your clothes. You have more energy. So yeah, definitely. The community is another big part of it, and we also have Habits of Health. We have an educational piece, and it's a life book. You could, if you love to journal, you could do some journaling, and you just pick the different elements that you feel like you need to work on in your life. If it's stress, if you're at a level 10 because you have kids and you stress, then you may want to start there, because emotion, the mindset that goes along with that piece, the stress part of it, and if you're not happy if you're not fulfilled in what you're also doing, that could be a piece as well. And you may decide to pay it forward like I did and be a health coach. Yes.
Yes, so actually I'm just so excited for you, so happy for you, feel inspired by you, and I'm glad that you joined us today. And is there anything you want to share in terms of any last words, or even how people can reach you if they want to learn more about what it is that you do?
Let me just say this, and a lot of times we're around people and you don't know if they're struggling. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, and you could do a favor for them by opening that door and reaching out. I do a lot of connections. I can be found on Facebook under Juanita Nicholson, or on Instagram, J Nichols 224. Not the whole Nicholson, but I say, if you are watching this and you'd like to reach out, please do so. Our program is virtual. It's all over the nation, and we're now in even a couple international, Japan. So, but I'm here willing to help anyone on their journey to better health. So you don't have to wait till the new year. You can have a new you right now. We have 5 weeks until the new year. So everybody's gonna be knocking at your door, come January, but let's get started now and just become a healthier us.
And I wanna co-sign on that, because I know for me, like I said, I didn't feel like I wanted to reach out for help, because I felt like it was something I should be able to do on my own. And even though, I had about, like I said, between 10 and 15 pounds to lose, may not sound like a lot, but it still made me feel some kind of way. And then to be on this journey with you and to drop it, I'm just like, I almost feel like, well, what was I waiting for? Like, I feel so much better, and it just went away so quickly. And so I agree with, why wait for the 5 weeks? Like, go ahead and do it, because you'll start feeling better, like, immediately. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, and if you guys want to help coach, this is the lady to contact. And then also make sure you check out my website at arvettemclain.com, and I still have that free gift for you if you haven't gotten it yet. Until next time, bye.